Hello, welcome to... Hello, welcome to. Hello, welcome to. Hello, welcome to. Hello, welcome to. Hello, welcome to.
Fat Boy. Second Skin.
Hello,
Intuition.
welcome to. Hello,
There's loads of skate liners on the market.
hello, welcome
But
to.
what the f is the difference? Hello Bladers, hello, you're watching Loco Vlog, and today we're going to be talking about skate liners. A liner is the part of the skate that's removable like this. About 80% of skates have a removable liner in them, and it's a really important part of the skate because it's the part that's going to keep you comfortable. Today I'm just going to go through each individual style of liner that we have on the market at the
What's up, bud? Another day in paradise. Yeah, no kidding. So, I see you're watching the liner video that Loco did. Yeah, that was a good video. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Yeah, Real Warehouse used to do videos, but you know they're just more of a shipping point at this point. Maybe, I guess. Well, yeah, they both would do a lot of stuff, but for some reason I was gravitated toward Real Warehouse's videos. Long's done a couple of videos, but not a ton of them. But he's got his hands full right now. Okay.
There, can you guys hear me? All right, Ben, why don't you talk and see if...
Talking. That's always a very awkward.
It looks like it's
prompt.
working now, but I don't know.
Do you have a?
Oh, it sounds like they can hear. My
There we go.
So I gotta tell you, my office is a complete. It's like a tornado hit it. You know, when the frames hit, it's been nonstop. Like there's just packing boxes and tape and envelopes and like frame spacers all over the place. It's just a complete mess.
That's awesome.
Well,
I mean, it is and it's not at the same time.
yeah. I mean, I kind of knew that it was going to happen, but I didn't. I guess I didn't expect how crazy crazy life was going to be this week.
Yeah, when you don't have a logistics guy to take care of that for you, or an operations guy.
No. I mean, I'm figuring out as I go along, you know? Like, I ran out of tape one day, and I had to go to Target and buy extra tape, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I got all these orders, and I don't know how much... I mean, I have no idea how to estimate, like, supplies, you know?
Yeah.
You know, thank God for Amazon. You know, all of those boxes that they'd been sending me over these years, I've been smart enough to keep, and the packing material. So yeah, I've got all this stuff that I can, you know, reuse for the business. But Yeah, it's
Well, did you guys save some of that, for in the past for other stuff? Because I know that your wife was doing some crafty stuff for a while.
yeah. I mean, I kept it for everything. I'd been so my whole the way that I've been getting skates for like reviews and stuff has been eBay. So I usually just sell, like kids' clothes when they grow out of it. Like it's so long as you buy good kids' clothes, it's probably will retain its value. But yeah, it's it's crazy. It's just crazy how many boxes I have in the garage, and now I'm actually finding use for them.
That's good. I usually get like a scolding. Like there's too many boxes, throw them away.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, though, we have like every other Friday, I think it is, we have a recycling collection.
Yeah,
and ours seem to go like every third pickup because I can't seem to remember it. And then by the time I remember it, it's a day I'm like 10 minutes late getting out of the house, and like, I don't leave right then. I might be late for work.
Yeah, pretty much. We're every other week as well, and yeah, I always forget. So I usually, thankfully, the neighbors have them out. I don't leave before them, so the neighbors have them out, and then I go get them, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should be taking mine. So I turn around and come back.
Yeah, that's always fun. So you kind of touched on it. So let's go ahead and let's just start with it. So frames are here.
Yeah, so the frames are here. So what a week. So yeah, they came in on Friday. So 1 week ago today, and it's been a rough week. I mean, not in a bad way, but just like in a sleep way. I still have a full-time job, so I'm going to work. I wake up at 6. I'm getting the kids ready for school. Thankfully, this is our last week, but they start camp next week, so it's still going to be a pretty busy time. But normal day, and then getting home 5 o'clock, and getting the kids from school and getting dinner and all that stuff. And then when they go to bed, I'm like, all right, change into shorts and a t-shirt and go into the garage and pack orders. I took a day off the day that they came in, and then I took a day off middle of this week just to ship a bulk of them. But man, I mean, I need a day just to recover. I need a day to just lay around and do nothing.
Yeah, but the good thing is people are excited as fuck.
Yeah.
About them being available. So I mean, that's
yeah.
I was seeing stuff like crazy pop up on Instagram just from people that I follow. Let alone following any hashtags. Like, and it's awesome how excited people are.
Yeah.
To have those frames in hand again. I'm excited for when I get mine.
It's been emotional, right? I mean, not just me personally, but like just to see like people getting behind blading again. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to, sound pretentious, I feel like blading needed some like injections of positivity, and I think that, them coming out is one of them. I think that, the end of last year and the beginning of this year was pretty rough. What we had, help me list all the things. So whatever you feel about a Dirtbox shutting down, Volo shutting down, just shrinking of already tight budgets. It's
shops shutting down.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Aggressive Mall shutting down. It was a very dark quarter, and
oh, absolutely.
I think John coming back, us coming back, Rain coming back. I mean, even if it might not be on the level of like a new company launch, the fact that Sunshine is investing in liners again, and they're not just doing Razors liners or Jug liners. It's like, these are quality liners, and I've heard great things about the Rain liners. I think I think that's what blading needed, and I just see the positivity. Like, if you could graph it, you would see this huge spike in positivity the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The Fitty Fitty frames coming in, the them skates, end of the month. It's happening. So yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing to see, and I can only imagine, like, I was excited, like, through, I don't know if you want to call it osmosis or excited for you, but like I couldn't even imagine how I felt like when they came in and they were shipping, you were sending me pictures of the boxes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that was awesome. Like that must have been a really great feeling. And then to hold them in your hand, like,
Yeah.
I get that feeling when I see a lot of something that looks cool. Like, I would get this a lot seeing brass chips from the machine shop at a couple of jobs.
That's
I'd
awesome.
want to dive into them like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't do that. If
No,
you're working
that's
in
a horrible
shop, That's a
idea.
very, very bad idea.
They frown upon that.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be very good to do in a giant bucket of frames either. But
No.
but when I saw the boxes, that picture of all the boxes in the office, or the warehouse, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to Scrooge McDuck that up.
It's crazy. So I have this grind box in my office, and it's 10 feet long, and it's 2x10. So it's a 2x4 sheet of plywood on top, and I have 2 of those, and then one that's 2x2. So it's 2 feet wide. I had the whole thing full of boxes, and it was second level deep. Now I'm down to like 6 boxes, 8 boxes, something like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy because I've been shipping it like crazy. I didn't order a ton extra. I've got like 100 extra, but it's like I wasn't ready for as many frames as I was going to sell since I placed the order. And then people were like, oh, hey, I want frames. So I was like, all right, like, I'm going to run out of stock already.
That's not a bad thing, though.
No, it's not a bad thing. So I was going to say, so next week, what day is it today? Today's the 15th. So the 21st, I guess it would be, Thursday night at 12 o'clock midnight, I'm going to start pre-orders for the white frames. So typically the production takes about 40 days and then about, I say 2 weeks, but it's probably going to be 3 weeks to ship. So we're looking at about 60 days, maybe 75 days from that order being placed and the frames actually coming to my warehouse. So I want to try to get on it as soon as possible. Like, I know that I'm going to run out of frames and I want to place another order. I don't have the money to order different colors now, but I feel like, bringing in that first shipment of black, learning from, the production errors and the shipping confusion and all that I went through. Now I know what I need to do in order to bring in frames like legitimately and like smoothly. It's time to bring in the next color. So white frame pre-orders are going to start next weekend, the weekend of the 21st. We will have, just like we did last time. So last time we did pre-order specials. There was special pricing on the frames. I think it was you could buy combo packs, so frame and a t-shirt, and you save some money. And then there were 2 sets of frames, so you could buy 2 sets, and you save some money. Depending on how many frames we sell, we unlock different prizes. So at 100 frames, you unlock a special prize, 200, 300, etc. We unlocked the 300 frame prize last time, and everybody who ordered frames got a beanie, a can cooler, a sticker pack, and then the poster, which was free for everyone. I've got some really cool prizes in mind for this one that I really want to unlock and make. So next weekend, if you're at all interested, if you were holding on the sidelines to see if I could actually get this, actually fulfill my promise, or if you were just waiting on white frames, next weekend is your opportunity. And it's gonna be great. I'm really excited to bring in this second round of production.
So the next question, what's after white?
I don't know yet. I got some ideas.
I'm pretty sure you know what I'm hoping for.
Well, gold, of course, right?
Well, clearly, I don't think you're gonna sell more than 3 or 4 pair of gold frames.
No, you're probably right.
I would say probably yellow. I would say yellow or red. is would be my vote for what should be next.
So I've heard yellow. I would love yellow personally. I think that yellow is a great color, and it's one that we hadn't done often. We did a yellow frame for John way back in the days. We did a yellow
Yep.
frame for Richard after I left. I love the look of yellow. Yellow with a black skate, black wheels. That's a hot look.
Yeah, or even a gray skate,
Or even a
Like
gray
the-
skate. Yeah.
like John's coup d'etat thrones.
Yeah. Those are great. Yeah, I think anytime you put a yellow frame on something, and nobody makes a yellow frame right now. I mean, we talked about it last time, but I think a yellow frame would be great. It really just depends on how well these white frames sell. I mean, I'm so
Yeah.
new to this. Like, I don't know what the numbers are like, and bringing in frames are expensive. I mean, I did not lose money on this run, so don't worry. I'm not I'm not looking for charity or anything, but
Yeah, well, at the same time, though, I mean, like I think, what you're putting out is a good product.
Sure,
People are gonna want it,
sure.
so I don't think you'll ever lose money on it unless you say I'm gonna order 10,000 pairs,
Yeah,
and then it takes you 10 years to sell them.
yeah.
But like even then, you're technically not gonna lose money. You're still gonna make it,
Yes,
eventually.
I'm
But-
being as conservative as I can.
Yeah,
Simply because I just don't know the market. I've gotten a lot of great support from skaters and from shops. I've gotten about a dozen shops who have signed on to distribute the frames.
That's
A
awesome.
bunch in the U.S., a bunch outside of the U.S. It's a great feeling. I really hope that I get the same thing with white. I've got a pair of white frames. I'll show it to the live stream real quick. Hold on. So these came with the sample pack that I got on the shipment, and man, I love the look of the white frame. It's just a classic, clean look. I think it's gonna be great. So yeah, I'm really excited about the frames. I think that the white frames are going to be a killer product. We will have black juice blocks as well. So if you want to buy black juice blocks with the white frames, you can do that. We'll bring in white juice blocks. So
look
if
at
you
that
want,
white frame.
if you want white juice blocks with black frames, you can buy those. I'm trying to be really smart about the way that we bring in product. And listen, people have asked for white frames, so I know that there's a market out there. Yeah, I'm babbling, but I'm blown away. I really couldn't have done it without you guys. It was a ton of work. I mean, I've been working until 9 every night. I've cut myself off at 9 o'clock because I got to get to bed by 10 to get up by 6. So I cut myself off shipping at 9. So I only get in like an hour or two of shipping every night. But, I packed up the final order today and was able to ship everything out, or at least pack it up to ship out tomorrow. So this first run is done. I got a few more left that if you want to order, you can get from the website or at a shop near you. And pre-orders for whites next week. It's going to be a big week.
That is fantastic. I would probably say with the next pre-order, like anyone that wants to pre-order, you should have a part of the pre-order thing. Like they have to answer a question. If I were to do another color, what would you want it to be?
Ooh, I like that.
Yellow, gray.
I like
something
that.
Because I would venture to say you'll get just as many people wanting a gray frame as that want a red frame.
I think you might be right. I think gray would be a killer color. Is it a light gray that you're thinking of? 50% gray, like half and half?
Do you remember the what was the freestyle ones? No, not the freestyle. The core ones. That gray.
So like almost a darkish, definitely not black, but like a darkish gray.
Like a lighter version of gunmetal gray.
Got it. Can we say gun anymore? Is that okay? Gunmetal.
I'll say it all day. Like if somebody's triggered because I said gunmetal gray, like that's a problem, bro.
I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's a color. Yeah, I think that's a great gray. Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn. So I'll probably put a survey up. I've got some time. I plan on bringing in frames every quarter. So just based on my production, say we do pre-orders, it, is a weekend and then a week to place the order with my factory. 45 days or so to get production done, 2 weeks or so to get the frames in. I'm looking at like 60 days, and then give me, a few weeks to ship them out and get everything sorted, and, a couple weeks of buffer time. That's like a 3-month cycle. I feel like that's a good run. So every 3 months we'll do another pre-order thing. We'll do another, maybe a new color, maybe a restock of an existing color. But I love the idea of just flooding with different colors, doing small runs, but every time do something different, Like I think it's cool. So we'll see. I'm really trying to listen. So if you've got opinions, hit us up, at the Fitty Fitty Instagram or Facebook or on the website if you've got a color that you can't live without. There's plenty of options out there. So,
how many Bodie McBoat faces do you think you're gonna get?
Well, hey, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Just don't leave that as an option.
Yeah.
Maybe there might be a couple people that legitimately want a pink frame.
I mean,
That'd be
we made a pink frame. Did you know that?
You made a pink frame. I don't remember a pink frame. Was it a sample?
It was a sample. Yeah. So we made it, and guess who has it?
Who has it in their possession?
Yes.
Chris Farmer?
Nope. Pinky. Oh. You remember Pinky?
Yes. Yeah, we talked about it.
We talked about him. Yep. He has that.
You know
pink
what? That's
frame.
right. He did, because he showed me that picture.
Yep. It's legit.
Man.
It's a legit frame.
Did you listen to the Dave Payne Powell Movement podcast?
I did. You know what? I didn't put that on the list. That was a great podcast.
Oh my God. You know what I'm laughing about, right?
I mean, the whole podcast was great. What specifically?
The podcast was fantastic. That was the two of them must have really clicked, because it was very good to listen to.
Yeah.
But when fucking Mike brought up Mamba from BMAG, talking about the Roots video, oh my God! Like I was I almost had to pull over up the Atlantic City Expressway. I was laughing so hard. It was so funny.
Good. It was pretty good.
I cannot believe that. And then he told him, Daniel, if you're listening to this, email Dave, because he just told me that the video actually exists. Oh my God, that was insane. That was so good.
That was pretty good.
That was a really great episode, Mike. If you hear this, I messaged it to you also.
Yeah,
you do a good job, man. I thoroughly enjoy your podcast.
Yeah, it was great. I honestly, just completely honest, I don't listen to the non-blading ones. I tried, but I don't understand the stories, and I can't really get into the lifestyles. Like it's different. But I've listened to all the blading ones, and yeah, they're quality.
Do you know who's next?
I don't.
I do, but I'm not going to tell you on air.
All right.
Just because I don't want Mike to hear that and be like, "What, you son of a bitch?"
Yeah. No, don't leak it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm keep me in suspense. I wanna find out when I hear it.
It's probably gonna be another couple of weeks though.
Okay.
He says it's probably gonna be July timeframe.
Yeah, he's really good about stacking the content and then publishing on a bi-weekly sort of basis. Like he's very professional. I mean, we're pretty professional too. We're on every other week, but
yeah, as far as the timeline and everything like that, our production value isn't quite what it is. But
no,
I mean, evidenced by me recording with an iPhone 8 Plus. And
I think you sound great, Ben.
I know, but I can sound better. In the next house, we're gonna make it happen. I've got a space already in mind for it.
You get yourself a recording studio.
I'm gonna try to. So, yes, it's still really exciting about 50/50. Like I'm really juiced about that. Something that I'm shocked about though. Nils left Rems.
Yeah, so I didn't see that coming. So I didn't know much about him I think the last 2 years he's been quieter, I guess, than years previous. But it was a shock. He was on REMS for ages, and I
Yeah.
mean that's a big hit.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that 100%. That's definitely a big loss for Rems. It's a huge get for Rosie's too. Like the two of the heaviest hitters
Hmm.
in rollerblading right now are on their team
Mhm,
with Joe and then Nils.
Mhm.
Like, I'll be perfectly honest, when I saw the farewell Rems thing
Mhm.
that he posted, I was like, he's going to USD. Like,
Yeah.
they've already sent it. The Power Slide already sent him, Imperial Mega Cruisers.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they pick him up?
Yep.
And I was excited, frankly.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait for a pro Nils Aeon.
Yeah.
It's going to be very exciting. Maybe it'll be gold.
It won't.
So I'm not going to give up wanting this gold Aeon, and I'm not going to stop talking about it until you forward me an email from Matthias.
From Matthias saying that, okay, I
Saying
listened
it's
to the
not gonna
podcast.
happen.
Yeah, it's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
shut your mouth.
So I have not thought about Nils. I think ever. I mean, I don't think we've ever talked about him on the podcast.
No, he did that welcome to Riga video. Like, he was skating around the city.
Yes,
And,
that was
and
right.
I thought it was in Lithuania, and then I realized after we published the podcast that it was in fucking Latvia.
That's right. That's right.
Stupid Ben.
No. You never know when you say things on live.
True.
That was it. But I never really seen him skate because I mean I don't know, like the last.
Have you never watched the People Are Awesome video? Because almost anytime there's a rollerblader in that, it's usually a Nils.
I have, but I haven't recognized him. Like I don't see him like
Fair.
on Instagram, like his YouTube channel. So he posted a farewell to Rems video on his YouTube channel, which is a super classy thing. Like you can tell. So he's going to Rosie's. Ben mentioned it. I'll mention it. He's going to Rosie's. It is a huge change. He's been on REMS for 11 years. Like, that's a long time. He went on REMS, like, right when I left blading. So he's been on for as long as I've been gone. He, posted this video, Farewell to REMS, which is, judging by the look of him, it looks like it's some of his favorite clips from the last 11 years. It's like, some of them he's very baby face, you know what I mean? Like this was a long time ago, and then some of them feel very recent. You can tell by the haircuts. Like sometimes he has long hair, sometimes he has short hair. But oh my god, that guy's incredible!
Dude,
like,
he's so good.
360 topsouls like nothing. 360 topsouls on ledges. 360 topsouls on rails, on drop rails. Like, I mean,
There's one video in particular that he did where he kept trying this topsoul and hop over a kink to topsoul, and it was a struggle video for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm shaming myself now for still not doing the struggle video. It's gonna happen.
It'll happen.
It's gonna happen. I promise.
It'll happen.
And there's a new setup that I'm gonna do it in, but we're not gonna talk about it.
Nice.
But yeah, like the dude is just so good, and he's charging this rail so hard. It's just huge rail. He breaks like a slate stair. I think when he does it, but like he's just going insane. I'll find it for the notes.
Yeah.
And make sure that we get that in there and you get to see it. But it's great.
Yeah, if you're listening to this without access to notes, backtoblading.com/podcast. All of the episodes get posted there, and then I go through and I add links to all the things that we talk about. It's kind of cool if you happen to be sitting at home listening to the podcast. You can click on the links and watch the videos that we talk about, look at the pictures of things that we talk about. And I actually like going back after the videos and looking at all the things that we have talked about over the last couple of months. There's a lot of good information in there. So check out the show notes. Lots of good stuff.
Absolutely. Agreed.
But yeah, send me that clip. I want to.
I will. It's a really good. It showed up in one of those like, what's the difference between soccer players and rollerbladers type videos.
Oh yeah,
It's
sure.
Like, it's like soccer players taking dives, and then you see Nils, like throwing himself, downstairs and stuff, and screaming the F word, and just getting jacked up.
Yeah.
But he was doing. I don't know if he was doing it or whatever, but he was like, the rolling trick school. Like they had this whole thing where they were doing like tip tricks.
I don't know.
But of course, yeah, I think it only had one episode, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think it was from The Rolling, which was some sort of a European rollerblading group.
Okay.
Shop. Media conglomerate, something or other.
Sure.
But they did this one where he was doing this huge disaster soul basically on a P rail stacked on top of ungodly amounts of pallets. And it was nuts. It was absolutely insane. And he ends up finishing the video by doing a disaster 540 porn star, and then a disaster 540 true top soul or top soil.
Oof.
And just ridiculous stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the dude is absurd.
I just can't believe that I never saw him. Like, I wonder what was going on that I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Well, if he had a couple of clips. He had several clips in State of the Art.
Okay.
But that was only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Still such a great movie, though. I've definitely got to put that back on my phone.
Yeah.
So what else was he in? I know he was in the Ground Control video.
Okay.
I think he had a couple of friend clips in Game Theory, but that was 2010. So I don't think he's ever really done a lot of quote unquote sections.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because, the dude's ridiculous.
And that might be why I haven't seen him, at least in the last 2 years. I mean, I know about him through, was it the Pro Rems that he had? Did he have a Pro Rem?
Yeah, he had two. He had a black one and a white one. So
you probably mentioned them, and I probably saw his name as a result of that. But yeah, it sucks,
Yeah, they're still really great looking skates. I still would love to have a pair.
So so based on Joe and now Nils, who do you think is next for Rossi's?
Not Alex Broskow.
Not Alex Broskow. We talked about that, right?
Yeah, based on those two, I would say someone like Scott Quinn would be a suitable addition to that team.
Maybe.
I don't know if he likes that boot or not, though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Carson Starnes.
Maybe.
You sound like you know something.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I'm thinking. So I remember back in the days with Supercomputer Robot, they were building a team for comps. Like they wanted to take like ASA skaters. And I get that vibe with this. I don't know that Nils is definitely an ASA skater, but he kills Park.
He's beyond capable. He's definitely someone that could destroy something.
He's not like and not to be taken the wrong way, but like an Eugen or a Chris Farmer or a Alex Broskow who's when you think of their skating, you think mostly street, not park. When I think of Joe, I think of Park, the huge stuff that he does for Feast. I, again, don't really know Nils, but looking at his the videos, there were a ton of street, but the guy kills at Park. So I wonder if Rossi's is building a Park team to compete at like Feast and really get like from a exposure perspective, try to get their brand out there.
Yeah, that's true.
What about CJ?
CJ, as far as I understand, is going to stick with whoever's making the carbon subos.
Trying to think of other big comp skaters that would make sense.
The problem is there's not a lot of comp skaters in the United States anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because there's no big comps in the United States anymore.
Yep.
Sorry, John. Blading Cup is awesome. But
Yeah.
it's a Winter Clash.
It's a different comp altogether. It's a street
It
comp.
really is.
It's a street comp.
Yeah.
It's like if it's a spiritual successor to like an IMITA.
You know what? You know who will probably end up on Rossi's next? Any of the guys hashtagging Valo Philly. They'll have to change that to Rossi's Philly. But in all seriousness, like I've talked a lot of borderline shit on some of the guys in Philly, and it's really unnecessary. But there's a couple of dudes that are extremely talented out here. Anthony Marichone is one. You know, obviously the Kelsos. Alf, why can't I remember his name? Steve Iacono, you know, is really, really talented as well. There's a lot of other guys that never got any shine whatsoever, but they're still extremely talented. There's a lot of really good dudes that are out here in Philly. You know, there's a couple of them that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't think they know who I am, and I don't really care.
Sure.
I'm not going to mention any names because I'm going to try to stay positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, just because they're not nice to me doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, like, a couple of those dudes. Oh, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. He was at the TNS that I went to. Tyler, what's his last name?
I don't know.
What is Tyler's last name?
I don't know.
Knight. Tyler Knight. Tyler Knight. He, again, I mean, like, he's kind of underground, but like I think he rides for Caltic, like Flow or something like that. And like I think he's getting some Valos.
Cool.
And stuff. But I mean, he's so smooth. Like he's so good too. Like I'm really hoping that a couple of the guys from the from the Valo Philly folks get hooked up with Rossi's too, because that'd be really cool to see a little bit more stuff like that in the area.
Yeah, agreed.
So someone in the comments that you told me that I shouldn't mention, but so someone said something about Stefan Brandau.
Yeah.
Which is because apparently he was talking shit about Rossi's, like coming back and this and that, and then what's the next thing everybody sees him on?
Yeah.
The new white Majestic 12.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if you watched / listened to the interview that he did with Ricardo Lino, he kind of explained it, and it made sense. So his love for Colts kind of held him back a little bit, is what it seemed like, and the way that Razors wanted to market things, he didn't necessarily agree with, which
sure,
you know, which is a perfectly legitimate reason to drop a sponsor. You know, I've got no beef with it.
Sure. Did you and I totally agree. I think you know, props to Stefan for sticking with his, maybe not morals, maybe that's the wrong word, but you know, his ethics, I guess. He wants to feel strong about the skates that he's on. And, you know, it kind of goes back to that old Brian Aragon interview, again on the PAL movement, where he was talking about, you know, Mike, you know, when he used to be the team manager for K2, tried to get Brian on K2, and he sent him skates, and he was like, cool. And Brian skates him, and he's like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. And it's like, dude, do you realize what, you know, from a money perspective back then, like what kind of paycheck you're passing up? Like, and he's like, you know what, I don't like the skates. And that, I totally respect that. I think Stefan knows what sort of skates he wants. And if he's going to skate, he's going to skate. You know, he's in it for him. And the most important thing is just comfort and feeling good when you get out and skate. So, yeah.
For sure.
No issues with that. I think that's super admirable.
Absolutely.
However, did you see that Racers is releasing a new Colt?
No. What is it?
I haven't seen pictures yet, but I saw a where was it on the Facebook somewhere? Let's see if I can dig it up. Somebody texted the Racers page, I guess, and said, hey, I love the Colts. When are you coming out with new ones? I hope you're not discontinuing them. And then whatever the chat the Razor's chat came back and says, "New Colts coming, soon." Like maybe there was more info. I have to find that chat, but
Oh, fantastic! So another pair of black Colts with a black cuff and a black sole with a white backslide plate.
I mean I haven't seen them.
With the Elliott backslide plates, not the old ones that everybody wants. But I should also say,
I thought you were going to be nicer. Didn't you just say you were going to be nicer this podcast?
I did. Now I will also say that when the creams dropped,
yes,
and they had adjusted the sole plate on the size 10 and up to make it so the frame was shifted forward more.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. That was a
Sure.
really great thing that they did for people that had the larger feet. And people kind of looked over that and they were just like, yeah, but we want the old backslide plate. And then Jeff Akers was just like, what the fuck
what's up
else
with
do you
this?
guys want?
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, like, they're pretty clear. They want the old backslide plate.
Yeah. And that's just, is a very specific style. Like the way that you grind on that old backside plate,
Yeah.
it would be like, it's a different angle. I mean, it adjusts everything about your skating. I don't have any reason to, you know how you skate.
For sure. I would love to have them again, to be perfectly honest, but more so just to have them.
Yeah.
Because like with the setups that I have right now, like I'm pretty set. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. So I can't really get too crazy about anything new that's out there.
So what's your setup now? Are you still on the Wish?
Yeah, I have those UFS Aeons
Mm-hmm.
with freestyle hollow frames, which
Yeah.
that was very unpleasant.
Yeah.
I have the solos with the rain liners and the Wish frames,
Mm-hmm.
Go Project wheels, and the generic ABEC 5s from the from the bearing video. I can still tell a difference. I was skating just as fast on the freestyle hollow frames that had the twin cam bearings in them,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that there was a difference, and they have
Good.
gotten faster.
Okay.
So that's good. Those are going to go into the new setup that I have that I'm still not disclosing.
Awesome.
And then I still have my 60 millimeter Aeons, which I don't know what setup I'm going to bring to Woodward in September.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be
Like-
an interesting. So last time you went to Woodward, you spent 90% of the time on the spine ramp.
I spent 90% of that time driving there and back.
Well, this is true. This is true.
But yes, yeah, that statement is absolutely accurate. I spent
What-
almost the entire time on that spine ramp.
What do you see yourself skating this time?
Spine
What's the
ramp.
the spine ramp?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it feels like home. Like really, like have you ever skated that ramp?
No, I've never been to Woodward.
Really?
I've never been on
With-
the East Coast. Like I've been to Woodward West, but I've never been to Woodward in Pennsylvania.
Okay, I was gonna say like with your stature in the industry,
Well-
like you couldn't have finagled your way into a
No,
guest weekend at Woodward.
I'm sure I could if I asked, but I was in California. Like that's a serious commute. Like you
True.
think your commute was bad?
Well, yeah, but the 4 hours that I spent in the car to get there, you'd spend just a little bit more flying.
True.
Well, and then probably 40 minutes driving. How are you going to get there, by the way, when the time comes? Do you want to talk about that offline?
No, it's fine. I don't know.
Do you want to drive straight up 95 and then meet me somewhere, and then we'll go with
Yeah.
three of us, you, me, and Jeremy, or are you going to go up with
I think it depends
Long
on
and the rest of the
Yeah, I think it depends
guacamole gang?
on who comes from this area. I
Okay.
know that Long's going to go up a day early, I think.
Okay.
So, in case people didn't know, we are planning on heading out to Woodward. What is it, September 20th? Something like that?
The weekend of the 21st.
Yeah. So, Long and Cameron have worked really hard to secure a weekend for rollerblading at Woodward. We will have the entire place to ourselves. And weather permitting, that includes the outside as well as the inside. It will be a great time. We've got events. 50/50 is going to sponsor as well as a bunch of other companies. if you haven't heard about it, I'll put a link in the show notes, but I think it's called What Year Is This .io maybe. It's if you just go on the Instagram and do a search for What Year Is This, the hashtag, you'll find it. But we're going to be there. I think we're going to drive up on Friday, and was it skate all day Saturday? What is it? Drive up Thursday? What day are you driving up?
I'll be going up Friday night.
Friday, yeah. So it's just a full day Saturday, and then we drive back Sunday. That's the plan.
I was planning on going skating all day Saturday, skating part of the day on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then heading out from there.
Yeah, I think that's what most people are going to do. I don't know how long it is for me. I want to say it's like an 8-hour drive. So it's a commitment, but I'll probably take Friday off. And
wait, you're 8 hours from me, and I'm 4 hours from there.
All right, let me find out. So Durham to Woodward. Let's see, Durham to Woodward Camp. That doesn't help me.
Yeah, you're six and a half hours from me.
Yeah. Durham to Woodward.
PA.
This will get me close. 7 hours.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's not great.
It's not great, but it's not bad. So we're gonna be going up. I'll probably take the day off on Friday and drive, and then I'll probably leave early on Sunday and drive back. But it's gonna be great. There are cabins available. There are rooms available that you can share with people. All the pricing is up there. What year is this I don't know what it is. Jeez, I forget. What year is this hashtag? There we go. Forget it. It's hard to find. I'll put it in the show notes. I can't figure it out while we're talking. But it's going to be great. It's going to be a great time. Come on out if you are anywhere in the East Coast. We would love to have you register and give them a call and rent yourself a cabin. I know some of the guys from Blader Union are going to be coming out. I think Travis is going to be flying out from the West Coast and potentially bringing some people with him. It's going to be fun. It's going to be one of those events that you won't want to miss, and that will probably make a huge impact on like blading history. So I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be great. I would love everybody to be there, and I would love an opportunity to skate with everyone. I think it's going to be great.
For sure, it's going to be a ton of fun. Like that, yeah. Even just to skate that mini ramp all day is going to be awesome. I'm going to have to bring like every kind of friggin' hydrating drink and some sort of vasodilators to make my legs work again.
Yeah, seriously.
All the foam rollers that I can find at Target and Dick's Sporting Goods.
I mean, yeah, you do whatever you can. What
Yeah,
was it? Gold Bond all over your body?
Yeah. That too.
That's what they used to do back in the days when what was it?
God,
one of the tours, they had a serious Gold Bond addiction. What was it?
Louis was on that one. Bo Coddington was on that one.
Yep.
I think Spicer. That might have been like.
I think it was the Pound for Pound tour. I think that's what it was called. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I remember they did a Pound for Pound section in one of the VGs. I want to say it was like 8 or 9,
maybe
something like that. 7, 8, or 9.
So do you know the history of that? I can tell you the history of that. Why it's called Pound for Pound and everything.
Please do, because I probably have forgotten.
If you didn't know, now you know. So Pound for Pound tour, back when we were Monarchy. So Monarchy was the distribution company for 50/50, for USD, for England Clothing, for Civica, for Pointer. I mean, we had a bunch of companies under that umbrella, and it was all based out of this warehouse. We had 2 warehouses in Costa Mesa, And there was a sales guy. His name is Colin, and Colin was like, he was great. Like, he's everything that you wanted in a salesperson. He just killed it with relationships. He was everybody's friend. You know, he's exactly who you think of when you think of a salesperson. He had this idea that the skaters needed to pull their own weight. And, like, you know, it's not enough to just skate. You've got to actually get out there and promote. You know, like, if you're making your commissions or your royalties on your products, like, get out there and show that you love that product and sell that product, you know? So he had this sales attitude around it. And that's where the word pound for pound, like, you've got to put in a pound to get a pound, that whole thing. So the tour was all about going out and meeting with the shops that he was selling to. And I don't know how many shops they stopped at, but they went all the way across the U.S., at least in the West Coast, you know, up and down the coast. I think they went out in Arizona. I don't know. I'll have to find that video. But yeah, it was an interesting tour. I was not on the tour. I was still at the warehouse working, but you know, the videos and the information that I got back, it was definitely an interesting tour. But it seemed like a lot of fun, and it worked well. I mean, I think you know, a lot of the skaters at the time were younger. You know, they hadn't really needed to support themselves in the way that they do now. You know, it was kind of Colin's attempt to, you know, wake them up and say, hey guys, like, we got to work. You know, this isn't just, you know, out fun playing. Like, if you work, you can get something out of skating. So
That's really cool. I never knew that.
So there you go.
I feel like maybe I read that in like a disinformation from Daily Bread, but
yeah, maybe. Hey, I found I found the what year is this thing? So it's
okay.
WYII. God damn it! Why isn't it linked from the site? Oh my god. What year is it, Camp Woodward? WYII.us. WYII.us. Okay. That is the thing. WYII.us. It is check-in on Friday at 2 o'clock, September 21st. We need to get out of there on Sunday. There is going to be a 5K with Cameron. There's going to be a mini...
I will not be attending that.
5K at 7 a.m., dude.
Sorry, Cam.
I am there. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yes, I'll do it. All right.
Bring your big wheels, boys.
I plan to. I'll tell Jeremy too.
There's going to be the Apex Blading Company Cloud9 session. There's going to be the mini mega ramp with John Cooley, who is at the Atlanta. What's that comp called?
ATL Stomp?
The ATL Stomp. The A-Town Stomp. Ugh.
I think they had to call it ATL Stomp because there might be some sort of a copyright issue with
it might be
the dance thing or whatever.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right. So yeah, he's there this weekend. It's gonna be a great weekend. Please, if you can make it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a great time, and we want you there. WYII.us. All right.
I'm sending Jeremy that link real quick.
Yeah, cool.
So he can so he can try to get the wife to sign off on it.
I mean, that's what we all have to do. It's the right way to do it.
Yeah, he's got a crazy like work schedule leading directly up to that, and that'll be like his first weekend that he's not
got it.
Working like a madman.
Got it.
So I'm working it real hard to try to get him to go.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I'm trying to like say, use this guilt trip. Use this because we don't get to see each other like more than twice in a decade anymore.
That works with me.
So I'm trying. So we have I don't want to skip over the cruise. And I'll still need you to take point on this because I'm still on my stupid
no problem.
Surface.
Do you want to do the cruise?
Yeah, let's do the cruise.
Sure. So this is our last crew. So if anybody would like to submit their crew, this is crew number 10. Nice round number, but I know there are more out there. We would love to feature you. backtoblading.com/cruise. All that we want is a quick edit so that we can share your edit with everyone. It doesn't have to be much, but if you're out there skating, we want to know about it. Backtoblading.com/cruise. This week is Guamtech, who happens to be one of the guys in the chat, which is awesome. So Guamtech is in Columbus, Ohio. Skating from Columbus locals Hawk Trackler, Kyle Wood, Matt Lyon, Bradley Wilson, but mostly older skaters who've been going hard for decades, including Vinnie Fox, Eric Benjamin, John Hawk, Brian Hammond, and Brandon Hunter, as well as some of the Dayton dudes, Ryan Benner, Tim Ryan Sloan. The link that I'll bring up is a YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, there's 219 subscribers as we're listening. There's a lot of good stuff here. So I watched a couple of these videos. A lot of just really cool stuff at skate parks. Again, it seems like they've got a very similar vibe to the other crews, which is what I love. Just a bunch of, skaters hanging out, having a good time. The one that I linked to is them skating at night at one of these skate parks. It's great. I mean, again, just having a good time. I don't know if it's their wife or girlfriend who's there with them, but yeah, it looks like a really fun park. Looks like a bunch of guys, again, like Ben would say, you would go and get tacos with after the session. It's the sort of crew that I like.
Agreed. Now, Guamtech also, on the last episode, was, I don't want to say pestering, but he brought it up a couple times. The Ryan Benner video for Flying Eagle, Ohio. Did you end up watching that?
Oh, yes. I forgot that was him.
What'd you think of it?
It's pretty sick. So can we talk about Flying Eagle real quick?
Absolutely.
So I don't know much about Flying Eagle. I know that they make skates. I know that they're based in China, but they are slowly getting distributed in the US. I know that Roex was a big Flying Eagle, proponent, I guess. It's a weird, company to me. I wonder, I don't know. I know that they have an aggressive skate coming out. It seems like they're trying to do things on big wheels that, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I get a weird vibe watching Flying Eagle videos. All of their videos are very similar. There are a lot of almost mushroom blading things, but without wizard frames. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's what a lot of the guys are thinking that's what those skates are best suited for.
Okay.
I would wholeheartedly agree.
Mm-hmm.
No, let me rephrase that. I will wholeheartedly disagree
Mm-hmm.
because, I don't think that's what that product is made for.
Okay.
Does it work? Absolutely. Ryan Benner, Tree Rudolph, Drew,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So many people have proven that they're very capable skates. So, I can't say that you can't do it for that. But I will say that a lot of the movements that these guys are doing are far better suited for other skates.
Okay.
And I would say if they were to get on something that had a very similar feel to that skate and then use a wish frame that had a big H block, that had a rocker to it and everything like that, and had a similar wheel size, it would be a really awesome experience for him as well. So Ryan Benner is a really good rollerblader. I don't want to take that away from him. He's always been extremely inventive,
Mm-hmm.
very creative, and very, very capable. So I'm not a huge fan
Sure.
of some of the stuff that he does, but I appreciate the fact that he's putting it out there and he's doing work.
Sure.
So I'll give him that. And then to talk on Flying Eagle, I think I mentioned this on on a few occasions, but
Mm-hmm.
they make a great skate. Like
Yeah.
it's a really high quality, well made product line.
Yeah.
I mean, even their kids frames or their kids skates. They had sent me a pair of skates for my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Solid plastic, still machined aluminum frames.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rocker, with 62s and 64s. A great liner, like 1,000 times better than any adjustable skate you're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
in a big box store.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen like the adjustable thrones or any of the power slide little skates or anything like that, but I would assume that they're at least of a comparable quality.
I gotta get a set, just so that I can experience them. Um, are there any other skate companies that I don't know about?
I think we talked about Excello. We talked about Traxart,
Yeah.
which is a South American company.
So are those
There's-
big companies, or are they like cheaper brands? You know what I mean?
Well, Traxart is they use a lot of open molds,
Okay.
and they're pretty big in Brazil.
Mm.
That next time we talk to Fabiola, maybe see if she has a little bit of input on how much of that she sees out there when she's out at the skate park. But,
Yeah, I'd be curious.
they have several pro riders. They have a couple of pro model skates they put out in the last few years. There's them. There's Micro, which was like, I guess, the company that poured Seba hard boots for a while, and now they're going to be putting out their own stuff that looks a lot like it. There's Flying Eagle, like we just said, and then Gyro. They're more of a European company. Fila is big in Europe.
Oh, that's true.
Trying to think of what else is out there.
Are they mostly open mold companies that, like, are there any skates that I haven't seen? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious because I don't know much about Flying Eagle, and it seems like they have their own shells. Like, are there any other skates that have their own shells that I haven't seen?
I don't think so. I was going to say Rollerblade, but you've seen everything that Rollerblade has.
Yeah, probably.
Because they seem to have all their own stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Anyway, Flying Eagle is a curiosity to me, just because it's such a big company, but it has a very small imprint in the U.S. I wonder if and when that's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see everybody, all these companies, make a much larger imprint in the U.S. than they have. For some reason, Fila really interests me. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah,
but I've like even from when they had the Krusty and the what was the other one?
Ooh,
I
can't remember the name.
It was in my brain and that ran away the second I said the Krusty. But whatever those boots were that ended up becoming the Realms, I really wanted a pair. I really wanted to try them.
Yeah. Are you ever going to get Realms?
No. I don't think anybody brings them into the U.S. anymore.
Oh, you're probably right. Do they have them at Roller Warehouse?
I think they did at one point. I think they have at one point.
I'll check. I want to say they did. Just as a introductory, yeah, they have them. $150.
Don't do it.
Oh.
Don't do it, Walt. Don't do it.
They have all sizes in stock.
There's probably a reason for that.
Probably a reason for that. There you go, FS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's far better.
Oh, I know there's far. I know this.
Just if you want to put that out there, just be like, USD also makes the Realm. If you want a cheap skate, that's the way to go. Now, I've met people that love that skate. There's a guy in Connecticut. I forgot his name, but like he was find these available in my size,
Mm-hmm.
I max my credit card out and I buy 5 or 6 of them at a time. I'm like, do you go through them that often? He's like, nope, I just never want to never not have them.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well,
We're in here.
jeez. Well, it's all for good reason, though.
Yes.
All for good reason.
It's all for good reason. It's been a busy week. So,
Yes.
we talked a little bit about June 13th, which was a couple days ago. Pre-orders going online soon. I haven't seen any dates or anything, but it sure seems legit, like they're actually going to do it.
That's cool.
So this is the one that I guess you saw a bit ago. The 2 sizes, the same classic Cultic wheel bite protection that they've had in the past, but with a slightly modified groove, it seems. Kind of like a kind of a wishy kind of feel with anti-rocker kind of style wheel bite protection. But max 68 millimeter wheel rocker down. That's 68 flat. Ugh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And I think they're rockered up, so their low is 65 flat, which is a big wheel to begin with.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. So I don't know when the pre-orders start. They say soon. So. Oh no! Wait.
Yeah,
The max sizing is 70, 60, 60, 70. That's what the max sizing is.
Rocket up, down, down, up.
Yeah, I would guess.
That's crazy talk.
Or down, up, down. I guess.
Down, up. Well, no, because that would make it anti-rocker.
But if it's 60s in the middle.
Yes, you'd have them down, and then.
Oh yeah.
5 rocker.
Yes, you're right.
Either way,
weird.
I think it's an awesome idea. I love the idea of being able to skate 65 flat.
Yeah.
Or even 68 or whatever it is, whatever that biggest wheel was that was able to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great idea. And I'm really hoping that Connor hit it out of the park with this. I really hope that it goes well for him, because I'd really like to see the next idea.
Yeah, agreed. I've never, I don't know that I've seen Cultic frames. Maybe I've seen a pair. I've never skated Cultic frames, but I think I've seen a pair in the wild. It's such an interesting frame. Like, it's unlike any other frame out there. And I guess now, Wish has kind of taken the unique frame, crown and ran with it. But, I mean, Cultic was so ahead of the game when they first came out, with their wheel bite thing. Did they come out before the K2 Unnatural frame? Or was it?
Oh, by years and years, yeah.
Okay. I kind of assumed so, but I didn't want to assume.
Yeah. Yeah, the Unnatural came out essentially copying that idea,
Mm-hmm.
Which is very interesting. Because they were very litigation happy with anyone that would have a removable H block
K2,
or would infringe upon any of their ideas.
Yeah.
But Cultic is an Irish company, and maybe U.S. patent law doesn't really matter for Irish stuff. Who knows?
I mean, my money is on Cultic not having patents on things. All that means is that K2 couldn't patent it, but I don't think Cultic. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but patents are expensive.
Yeah.
And typically, if it's a good idea, somebody's going to find a way around the patent to make something that's similar that will work. Patents to me are just for big businesses to fight. And that, that's not really, like, I don't own any patents. I'm sure I've come up with a lot of things that were, I'm sure juice blocks could have been patented. I don't know of any other thing that was like that before, but it would have defeated the purpose of what we were trying to do. So it doesn't make sense to have any patents, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
we're not big business, so it's a very different world.
Yeah, I know someone put either 50/50 juice blocks or the Creed Originals G blocks
Mhm.
in. I want to say Featherlight 2s.
Hmm.
I think it was one Blade Mag that did that.
Mhm.
Someone did it, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks really awesome."
Yeah.
And then I remembered how much I hate skating freestyle, and
Yeah.
I put it out of my mind forever.
You should try it with with a shorter wheelbase. I'll send you a set of balance frames, just so that you can try it.
Will they be larges?
No, they'll be small because
where I like
that's
to skate.
well. You gotta
Okay.
try. You gotta try it with a short. I it's a very different thing because I didn't like skating anti-rocker on the large frames with the 270s, but skating it with the medium frames, even though I thought it was silly, skating it with the medium frames made a complete difference. It's a very, like, because the wheelbase is shorter, it's a very responsive frame, even if it shouldn't be, you know.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah, I mean, add, juice blocks in the middle, any anti-rocker for that matter, but juice blocks specifically, it's just, effortless for grinds on ledges.
sure.
I'll send. Oh, you can be the judge. I'll let you be the judge.
All right. Sounds good. I have more than one UFS boot now, so
I know. Look at you, opening up your mind to other options.
yeah, I'll go so far as to say like I underestimated the Wish frame. I knew it was going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was going to be as good as it is.
Yeah.
So, fantastic job, Cletus.
It really is.
And Guy Crawford, are you listening to this episode?
No.
Probably not. But if you are, you should let me know by messaging me.
He loves his Wish frames.
For sure. I really thought that he was going to like his Symmetrics frames more than anything.
Ooh.
Like when I'm pretty sure he got a pair of Symmetrics frames. But that's really the only other UFS frame that I don't own or won't own soon. Or that will own soon that I really have any interest in. Like the V4s for the Symmetrics frames with some flat 65s. I would love to try that. But really, there's no rocker in it. So
yeah. It's a weird.
I mean, that's really.
I mean, a slight rocker is really nice. It's.
I agree.
Just the slightest, like even if it's just a single mil, half a mil, even like just having those middle wheels a little lower, just gives it that little extra turning that you like.
Did you see who's riding Wish frames now?
No.
CJ Wellsmore.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he's on 72 62s.
72 62s. I don't think you can fit a 62 in there. Did he? He must have modeled
he fucking
it.
did.
Yeah.
He fucking did it.
Wow.
That or he's just using like a slightly worn 62, but either way, like that's insane.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's crazy pants.
They're great frames. I mean, I'd love to see CJ, and it's a weird transition. He was always anti-rocker, wasn't he?
They skated anti-rocker for a long time.
Yeah.
And that Seba frame that came on the CJs and the SX and stuff, or that Seba Streak frame, you could technically skate that 64 flat.
You could. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't have to do any modifications to it. You might have to modify your sole plate, but it's going to be horrible for RLs, but
yeah,
you could do it.
I never skated those frames. I'm kind of kicking myself for not, but I borrowed them from Long to do some video and some pictures, and then I just gave them back. I was like, I'm not going to skate these, I think I was on my Wish at the time, and like I just knew that they weren't for me. But I'm kind of kicking myself because I want to try everything, and I mean they look like they're all right. I haven't seen anybody talk about the Seba frames. I think they're just frames. Like there's nothing super special about them, or people would want them,
Exactly, and which is why Volvo hit it out of the park with their frame.
Yeah,
and we know you didn't like it that much, but that's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, but if you just want something to take out and just beat the shit out of, and you don't want to spend a ton of money, it's a great frame.
Agreed.
You know, at this point, like I would give it another like 2 or 3 months. Like by the end of the summer, shops are going to be blowing those out at $9 again.
Probably.
Because they're going to have stock of Rossi's frames.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to be mad at Rossi's for taking the Valo frame without, just taking the print off of them.
Yeah. And adding the Rossi's logo.
$30.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you gotta make the money on the mold somehow.
Exactly. Oh, so speaking of, did you see the spy shots of the maybe not spy shots, but the pictures of the USD Shadow?
I didn't see the pictures, but were they from Chris Calkins?
They were from Lonnie, but I don't know. Maybe they were from Chris. Because Lonnie had that quick feet clip from Chris Calkins from the feet blading Instagram. That was probably that was probably it.
Because the first time that I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, that's a fucking sweet set switch up."
Yeah.
And then the more I watched it, I was like, "Wait a minute,
what?
Look at that sole plate."
Yep.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, yeah, that's exactly what that looks like." And I even commented on that. I said, "It looks like the new Shadows."
Yep. Yeah. So I only saw a still that this guy Jack Cabbage posted to Blade Tech, but it's the Shadow. I mean, it's the high top version. So back in the days, the Shadows had, what were they called? The skins? What are they called?
Foot wraps.
Foot wraps, right? Why didn't they call them shoes? Because they're foot wraps.
Because this is rollerblading.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. I won't ask. So they are the high top foot wraps. What do we call them?
I would call them liners.
But they're not a liner because they don't go in a boot.
Well, technically they do.
No.
Because you're still going to be able to buy a boot only.
So did a foot wrap. No. That's true.
All right. Fair enough.
I don't know. I think just based on the spy shot, I was expecting more out of the boot, out of the liner, out of the foot wrap, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. Like what I loved about the Shadows, and I never really skated Shadows, but what I loved about the Shadow is the concept of being able to take your feet out and walk around. I would feel kind of weird walking around in these shoes.
They're not that bad. Like I used, when I worked in the call center and I would work overtime, but I would have a couple hours between the end of my shift and overtime.
Mm-hmm.
I would take my Shadows and I'd go find a ledge to skate or something. And it's not that bad. The soles were a little thin, so if you're used to like Chuck Taylors or what is those New Balance Minimus and stuff like that, like if you're used to something with a very thin sole or a like a zero drop shoe,
right?
It's very similar.
Have you seen the new ones, the high top?
They are no longer similar to those.
No, those are the ones that I'm talking about. They're just I don't know that I would wear them.
I wouldn't wear them around. Like Frank Stoner skated. I'm trying to zoom in on that picture that's on the on the live feed. Can you send that to me?
Yeah, I'll send you a link
later. Okay. But they had. I forgot the line of thought I was.
Oh, Frank Stoner.
Yes. Frank Stoner was talking about when he was skating Shadows. He didn't necessarily like it because he didn't like the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So he would wear his regular shoes, go to the skate spot, take his shoes off, put his foot wraps on, put his skates on, strap up, go skate.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he wanted to go somewhere, skates off, foot wraps off, shoes back on, whole 9 yards.
Sure.
So like he didn't like him that much for that.
Sure.
Which made perfect sense because it's a pain in the ass.
Sure. And I get that. And I think, I mean, that's what I'm so excited about dupes and want dupes so bad. Like I want to be able to just walk out from my desk at work and put the stupid dupes on and go skate to the coffee shop. And then, like, I feel like it's ideal, like why wouldn't I just put my feet in these things and skate around? But, then there's the actual, like, well, they're not super comfortable where you're going to have to wear special shoes, that sort of thing. I'm planning on getting a pair of USD Shadows. I am in the review business. I need to let people know what I think. And these are definitely going to be skates that people are going to skate and are going to be interested in. So I'm definitely going to get myself a pair. What do you think? What is your prediction of what, and you know me pretty well and my likes and dislikes. What do you think I'm going to think of these high top shadows, USD shadows?
I'm interested. I'm not so much interested in them with 2.0 cuffs. I would want them with the old cuffs, the new soles, et cetera, et cetera. Because I think that was my big issue with the. What frame is that?
It looks like an Advance, right?
Well, that in that shot that I'm seeing there, I don't know if I'm not up to date on the thing, but that looks like the 3.1s.
Yeah,
that Mark did.
Yeah, very similar.
Either way, but yeah, I think that was my problem with 2.0s was I just didn't like the cuff. I think that was my problem with them. I think with the 1.0 cuffs, I can make them work again.
Okay. What do you think I'm going to think of the 2.0 cuffs? What would a 2.0 be similar to? Is it like my Seba cuff? Is it like an Aeon cuff? It looks low in the back, like an Aeon cuff.
I would liken it to if you wrapped your ankle in Charmin Ultra.
Charmin Ultra being the toilet paper?
Yes.
What?
It's not a good cuff for me. Like I did not like it. I thought it was very, 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 very flexible, like to a fault. It didn't feel precise at all. Like that was one of the things I liked so much about Shadows when I first got them.
Mm-hmm.
Like even with the size large shells, like they felt very responsive and very
interesting.
Let's get you learning some new shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got the small shells or the medium shell, like I was doing tricks that I never would have thought to do ever. So it was really cool to be able to have that. And then going from that into the 2.0 was like, it was just like, this feels nothing alike. And I think that was even something that Farmer and Kelso or Sean Kelso had said when they were talking about him in the teaser video for the 2.0s. They were like, it's not the same thing, but it's the same thing.
Interesting.
Kind of thing. I could be way wrong with that. Maybe I feel like they said like it's still a shadow, but like it's just it was different enough that I wasn't into it.
Do you think the cuffs will be replaceable? And if so, could I get 1.5s?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's if they are making 1.0 cuffs still.
1.0s, yeah. Well, I'm sure I could find some, right? I'm sure somebody's got them out there.
Yeah, I'm sure Long has some.
Ooh,
he probably still has some. He probably still has some size large shadows somewhere, like the old 1.0s sitting around.
Probably has the ones that I gave him.
Well, if those were the Solomon made ones, they're probably still perfectly fine. You could probably still use those.
Yeah, I don't know which ones they were. I think they were, but I don't know. They were from a long time ago.
Yeah. With I'm excited about that because there's other people that are out there that really skated well in Shadows and probably skate less because they're not readily available. One of them being Kevin Dowling.
Okay, I remember that name. I don't think I've thought about him, but I remember him from the days.
Yeah. I've talked about him a couple times too. He had a podcast for a little while, and then when he started doing his location scout stuff for Netflix, I think he was doing it for.
Oh, that's right.
He kind of dropped off with that, which is fine. You got to take care of family and everything like that. He moved to Chicago, I think, or I think he's trying in the midst of trying to make it happen. But I missed the podcast he did and the one that Cameron did. I wish that they would both come back and do podcasts again. Those were both fun to listen to.
I think Brian Krantz was talking about Kevin a couple episodes ago. because that location scouting rang a bell. Yeah, I mean, I need to do some research and just see what he was up to. Another name from the past that I remember well, but it's been a while.
For sure. Who was someone that was on 50/50 that I might not recall that I would be surprised about?
Frankie?
I feel like he was on 50/50. I want to say that I knew that when he was skating Thrones, or possibly even skating rollerblade, like the Dirks and stuff like that.
I think it was rollerblade
Like
when
he
he started.
on the grind.
Right when he started on the TRS Access. It was around that time. Yeah.
So he was on the grind plate team for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think he skated the frames. I
Okay.
don't remember. I've got a picture of him from an old 50/50 catalog that we produced for a trade show. I'll see if I can dig up.
Because wasn't he going to get a frame and then he went elsewhere?
We were talking
Able,
about
maybe?
we were talking about getting a frame for him. I don't think it ever happened. I mean, I know that it never happened. I don't think he left because he didn't like the frames. I think that he wanted to support Abel. You know what I mean? So he was more enthralled with the Abel frame concept. So I mean, more power to him. No love lost. Definitely still a good dude. Who else?
What about Phil Riley? What was the last time that you talked to Phil Riley?
I was gonna say Phil Riley. Phil Riley. It's been a long time. The last time.
Now here's something that I heard that may or may not be true.
Okay.
The Phil Riley grind plate.
Yes.
The colorway for that was to mimic a certain herbal supplement.
The Andy Cruz one was, or the Tom Heiser one was. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, the Heiser one was. It was the speckled green grind plate. It's the one that came on the K2 Fatty Pro.
So what was the Phil Riley one? Then?
It was black speckled, so slightly different, but still very.
So it was a black grind plate with green speckles.
It was a speckled
black.
Yeah, speckled black. Yeah, it was the same. It was the same compound, but in a different color as the green one.
Okay.
Yeah. Phil. Phil is a very interesting character. I don't know that we ever talked about Phil on the podcast. He was. I mean, he's the inventor of the porn star. He's the guy that started doing tricks differently, and people were saying, "What are you doing? Like, you're not doing your soul grinds right." You know what I mean? And he was like, I remember we were at a competition in Milpitas, and he was doing porn stars, and he had to bring the judges out to show them what he was trying to do so that they could say he was doing it right or not. You know what I mean? Because at that time, we only had 5 tricks, There was like frontside, backside, there was porn star, there was Mizu, and maybe like top soul, funny enough, right? Like nobody was doing sweat stances, even though it was the same thing as a top soul as a soul is to a top soul as a Mizu. Like we were doing Mizus, why weren't you doing sweat stance, right? But we weren't doing sweat stance. Not until Hoax 2, with Andy Cruz doing them. But Phil was doing porn stars, and he would do forward porn stars. He wouldn't come up fakie or zero spin. Not forward porn stars. He would do alley-oop porn stars, which is a porn star. But he would come skating forward, and he'd do an alley-oop, jump on, and slide porn. And it was like, what is this trick? I don't even know what this trick is.
Yeah.
Phil was an incredible skater. He was the best at wall rides that I'd ever seen. I don't know anybody who, at least back in those days, could ride walls like Phil Riley. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a picture, but there was a great picture of him, I think in San Jose, doing this probably 15 stair, and he's just like cruising. And it's a flat wall. It's not like a banked wall, no cheating. It was a serious wall.
Yeah.
And he's just flying down. And he was a really great guy. I remember spending some time with him. I think he came and visited. Maybe he stayed at my place. I don't remember, but we were living in San Jose at the time. And I remember distinctly driving around the Bay Area with him a bit. I don't think we skated. We just kind of hung out. But he was really interested in Magic: The Gathering at the time. And like he was asking me, if I knew where there were any shops that might sell, cards. And I don't know anything about Magic, but I would assume it's like how we are with, skates and Play It Again sports, where like, is there?
No, it's so much nerdier.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
well, I don't know. I mean, we're pretty nerdy, but like
No,
looking
all
for
right, so-
rares and stuff. Like, I feel like he wanted to go to a shop so that he could see what cards they had. And I remember he bought some one-off cards, like they were cards that maybe he wasn't able to find wherever he was living at the time.
Okay.
And that's how I liken
That's-
it to us going to a Play It Again in, the middle of Ohio or in the middle of, whatever, Iowa, and saying, I wonder
Yeah.
if they have any Solomons, and we might be able to pick up or whatever.
You know what I always imagine I'm going to find when I go into one of those places?
No.
Thrones. For some reason, I imagine I'm going to walk in, I'm going to find a pair of size 9 classic Thrones, and I'm going to be like, yes, I'm going to spend $7 on these, and don't know what I'm going to do with them at that point.
Yeah. We'll put them on Blade Trade and get your money back.
Only if they smelled like cigarettes.
Well,
But yeah, like so the people that I've met that have got so into Magic: The Gathering that they're going to go to a collectible store
mhm.
and say, I need these cards and like whatever. They're on a whole other level. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, I would like to think that I'm on a very particular level.
Yeah.
That's probably a little bit higher than your average rollerblader.
Yep.
But like those people that are like that are just, they're a little crazy.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy I knew that I was introduced to by another guy that rollerbladed, and he was into Magic, and then his buddy was into Magic. They found out and they were working at the same store, and like they just got crazy about it. So like I would go, and they were good Magic players. Like one of the other guy would go to tournaments and stuff like that, and my buddy Rich, he'd done that once or twice, but he wasn't very good. Like he more just enjoyed hanging out and and throwing some Magic cards around. But like this one dude, like he said, all right, we're gonna deal you in, and we're gonna kind of show you how to play. 3 turns later, like I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no cards in my hand. I don't know what the cards mean on the table. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening, guys? You've been dead for 2 turns. Like I don't know why you're even still sitting here. Go play Turok. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. I saw
I don't even know what's going on.
I think I saw a documentary on Magic players that was fairly recent. Like, it's still a huge thing. That explained it
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
It explained the game and how it all works. And they followed this one guy. Oh, there's my UPS. God damn it. So close.
That's funny.
I wonder what
That's
happened.
funny. Who even knows? You know what it was? Because we started talking about Magic: The Gathering.
Yeah, probably. All right.
I don't know.
Well, I'll have to gate it again. So yeah,
Okay.
I was watching this documentary about Magic, and I think it was about this guy who was like really good or whatever, and he had all the special cards, and I mean cards are expensive, so it's like thousands and thousands of dollars that he's invested into these decks, and he's able to play and everything. I just didn't know anything about it. I definitely didn't know that it was still happening, but I didn't know anything about it. But it's huge.
It really is. Like in one of the comments here on the live stream, talking about cards that go for thousands of bucks.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that I was introduced to, he had one of the Black Lotus or White Lotus cards or whatever it is, like that super rare, all powerful demigod card.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm looking at it and I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
So what does that do? He's like, nothing, but he can't use it. Like it's illegal in tournaments. Like,
oh, interesting.
some people might even punch you if you bring it out like in their neighborhood or something like that. I'm just like,
Huh.
you fucking nerd.
I mean,
And like I want, anytime someone starts talking about that stuff, I want my eyes to glaze over, and just turn into Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds and just start screaming. "Nerd!"
Yeah. That's funny.
But I have owned Magic the Gathering cards. I should also volunteer that information.
I mean,
Sold them. I didn't buy them. I shoplifted them because I was a teenager and I was an idiot.
Man,
But,
there you go.
I had them.
I mean, I've never owned any cards. I've never played Magic there. I probably should, just so that I know what it's about. But
Nah.
no,
There's
it's
the learning curve for that to play. I don't even want to say competitively, but to play with any sort of to have fun
Mhm.
kind of thing, to not feel like you're just getting bitch slapped the whole time.
Mhm.
There's a lot of time you have to spend on learning how to build decks and everything like that. It's really not worth
Yeah.
your time. You're better served going to the skate park.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm busy enough, but it just seems like something
Yeah.
that I'd be interested in. But
Probably, but we need you in rollerblading. And
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering.
there's that.
Rollerblading needs you, Law.
That's fine.
Magic doesn't.
I'm here for rollerblading.
Fantastic. We like to hear that. Oh, the damn UPS! That just sounds like it's screaming at you.
I know. Let me see if I can unplug something.
Okay.
It might make a difference. Made no difference.
Yeah.
I just don't know why
You're
it's so bizarre.
It's not awesome, but
I was able to gate it out
We're gonna
last time. I'll figure it out.
yeah. Here's hoping it works just as well this time.
Yeah.
All right. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So, helmets are pretty top of mind for me lately. No, I haven't hit my head or anything. But it's funny how. So I've been doing these things, these gear talk shows where I talk about, just random gear and like, doing it every other Wednesday. I'll do another one this Wednesday. If you have any questions for me about skates or anything that I have that you want to get some details on, 9:00 Eastern on Wednesday. I'm going to do it again, YouTube Live. This week, going to talk about wheelbase and the difference in wheelbases and, why the wish frame is magical with the way that it handles a long wheelbase. But one of the things that I talked about last time was helmets, padding in general, but the pads that I wear, including a helmet. And it was interesting that the BBC actually published a video about a guy in England who was rollerblading and back in the days hit his head and has been recovering from a head injury and is now like a very huge activist for wearing your helmet lid that they call him. Did you see this clip? It's like a minute
I did.
and a half
I
or
watched
so.
some of it.
It was on the Facebook, so I'm sure that you saw it when it was put there. But super interesting. It's a 2-minute clip. Definitely worth just a quick watch. What's interesting to me about it is that it's rollerblading. It's on the BBC. It's very rare for us to have any sort of exposure, but it's for a really good reason. I think I still don't see a lot of helmets out there, even at skate parks. And I'm a big proponent of helmets. I don't skate without my helmet. This Woodward trip that we're taking, helmets are mandatory. You got to wear a helmet at the skate park. It's for insurance reasons and everything. And seeing more people exposing the helmet issue and trying to motivate people to wear helmets, I think is a good thing. I think, the more that we can get the word out there and the more people will start wearing their helmets, the more commonplace it'll be and the more that people will wear their helmets.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Interestingly enough, I watched Sideshow Rodeo.
Okay.
This morning.
I don't know what that
I was
is.
eating my breakfast. I think it was a video that came out in like 2010, 2011 time.
Okay.
it was good. It was real good. I still haven't finished it, but I never watched it front to back. But I watched certain sections of it, like the toe blading section and the fire section from Michael Bro, and what else had I seen? There was a couple other things in there that I had seen those particular sections, but I'd never seen the whole video, and it's really good. Like it's bars level good. Like,
oh wow!
Like bars from Atlanta, basically.
Wow.
Because it seemed like basically the entire video was a lot of Atlanta guys, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all the stuff from Atlanta that I've been seeing since I came back to blading. Specifically, footage tape 4. I still really like that. I still really want Kevin and Jamie to make another one. Let's get some crowdfunding going.
Yeah, there you go. Did I ever see footage tape 4? I think you mentioned it.
So.
I think you mentioned it to me. I'll have to see if I can find it. When was this? A couple years ago?
Footage tape 4, I believe, was 2015.
Okay, so not too long ago.
No, it's a fantastic video. It was just after Julian Bogg got on the Adapt.
Okay.
Because that whole time he's in Adapts in that video.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good one. The very intro clip where they do the disclaimer is fucked up.
Oh.
And that's a quote from Kevin Dowling as well. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll leave the spoiler there. But Jesus Christ.
All right.
It's intense.
I'll find it. So something weird this week. Have you seen this Sean Smith video?
Yeah. I did see it. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah,
it was very interesting.
It's
that
very
is
weird,
actually
right?
what made me want to watch Sideshow Rodeo.
Interesting.
Because if you watch the Sideshow Rodeo toe blading, it's Adam Ehalt doing toe blading, where he takes like a TRS frame and cuts the first wheel off and then puts like a little radius there. So he can use that to grind. And it's really cool. It's a really neat idea.
So bizarre. I mean, so how did he make this happen? So Sean Smith has, first of all, these are Aeons, right?
Yes.
So he's got these Aeons that are painted like old Fifth Elements. Like they're the
I thought that was awesome.
The burgundy and black fifths, which is awesome. But he's got these crazy let's see if I can get, he's got these crazy almost like skateboards attached to them. So are they how do you get this to work? What do you think the construction's like?
I think he used longer UFS bolts and probably sanded down the bottom of the board flat.
So you think it's like a sole plate? It's like a sole plate then?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so he cut off the frame. He put the crazy things on there, and then he put the frames on, sandwiching the crazy things. And he's doing these crazy weird tricks. Like he's doing like toe slides, but they're like, I don't know what the skateboard term is, like a tail slide, I guess. So interesting. I guess I know what you think about it.
Well, no, and now when I first saw it, I was just like, this is gonna be whack. And I was like, you know what? It's Sean. Sean does good shit.
Yeah.
So let's check it out. Worst case, he's gonna do it in a way where he's making fun of himself but still having a good time. It'll be enjoyable to watch, and it was.
Right.
I actually liked watching it. I watched it more than once. Watched it more than once, and then I watched it to try to like get more of an idea of exactly what he's rolling on. They're Solomon frames.
Oh, are they Solomon's?
So, yeah, they're old Solomon frames.
That's so
and,
funny.
I was kind of looking at the construction to try to figure out, just like you were just saying, like, how the fuck does he make this happen?
Yeah, so funny.
But it was a really neat idea, and it was a very interesting thought to it. And the first thing I thought was, how salty are skateboarders that this is happening? I hope that he gets into an argument.
Oh, that'd be so funny. I mean, they're
Yeah.
still
I
attached
was like,
to his
I
feet,
can't-
so I don't think they're going to give him any crap about it.
Oh no, they're gonna get. If the last video that we talked about of Sean is any indication,
Yeah,
there's
that's
plenty
true.
of shit talk. I'm sure.
This is true. Did you see the Did you see the skateboard that converts into a scooter?
The morph board.
Maybe, I don't know. It looked more like a homegrown solution. Like this guy. I'll have to see if I can find the clip. But he cut a handle into his skateboard and he lifts up the tail, and then he plugs things into the sides, and like the tail comes up like a lever inside the skateboard. It's very bizarre. I'm sure the skateboarders didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, that's not quite what I was thinking that it was. But do you know about the morph board?
I don't.
Okay, so the morph board is basically a skateboard that it's a modular skateboard type thing. You know, it has these little balls that you can put under it, kind of like a Bosu ball.
Okay.
Or it has like a scooter thing you can do. You can do like the balance board and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it.
Oh, I see.
And guess who's behind it? Eitan Kramer.
Oh, is this the thing that Eitan was doing?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. I do know this. I don't know much about it. I know that Eitan was working on something with action sports or something, and it was something weird new technology. Super interesting.
Yeah, it was a really cool thing that Eitan was doing that. You know, he was thinking of getting back to blading at one point as well.
Was he?
Yeah, because of course I'm essentially a star fucker, and all I wanted to do was talk to him. So I was chatting with him a little bit, and and he was talking about like how Cooper Smith got back into it, and like how he wanted to put some stuff out there, and like he's kept himself in great shape, so I'm sure that he's gonna be able to get back into it with no problem whatsoever. And I was just like, man, how dope would it be? What if Eitan Kramer is the next Rosie's Pro?
I mean,
he basically just, it wouldn't be that difficult for him to adapt to because he already skated that skate like crazy.
We haven't seen any clips of him skating though.
It's Eitan Kramer.
Well, I mean,
dude was amazing back then. He's going to be
was
at least competent now.
Of course, he was amazing back then. I think it would be an amazing thing to see. I think it would be weird not seeing any clips of him and then him jumping on Razors or Rosie's out of the blue. But yes,
I don't know. I'm just saying if it was my company, I would at least flow him a pair of skates.
Oh, for sure. If he asked.
But I live in New Jersey. I don't live in Italy, so it's not my company.
Absolutely.
No. So I do want to call out another comment here.
Yeah.
That's in the live feed. So a gentleman by the name of Zero Cool for Life is talking about a Woodward West trip that's on the same weekend that the What Year Is It blading event.
Okay.
So if you're on the West Coast, they are doing a private event at Woodward West, and the access will be limited to Area 51, which is the indoor part. And if you want to talk to the guy that's running it, it's House of Hain. Looks like it's 3 words on Facebook. He'd be able to give you more information about that. So,
thank you. I'll see if I can find a link in the show notes. I'm looking now and I don't see it, but I'll look again when I can and put a link in the show notes. Yeah, it's a bit of a trip for people in the West Coast, but any chance that you get to go out to Woodward is great. Woodward West is a different beast altogether than Woodward, Pennsylvania, but I mean, they're both amazing, and anytime you get to skate with other bladers is a good time.
I agree 100%. So we also have the helmets. So Shredwiser,
yeah,
this From Beyond. I don't know if I saw this or not.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been on the list for a while. The trailer was 6 months ago. It looks like the VOD dropped. What is the deal with Shredwiser? I know, didn't they make wheels? I don't know much about them.
They did. They had a wheel that was like, it was poured by LaBeta, and it was made in the same factory and everything as all the other LaBeta wheels, but it was I don't know if they used a lesser compound or lesser urethane, and then just said, you know what, we're going to take less of a profit on this and put a wheel at this lesser expensive. But it was the cheapest wheel that wasn't a stock garbage wheel that was available.
Interesting.
They were like $19 for a set of 4, and they were capable wheels. I mean, they worked. A lot of people said they were really great. I didn't believe them.
Yeah,
and I never bought them. But Shredwiser is a weird thing for me. Like they have that Scum Life, feel to them that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate what a lot of those guys are capable of.
Got it.
So I mean, it's like the whole flavor of it just wasn't necessarily quite my brand.
Sure.
But
it looks
good
like
skating is good skating.
It looks like they have Shredwiser wheels still on the Roller Warehouse site. I'm sure that you can find them elsewhere, but yeah, $20 for a set of 4, 58 millimeter 88A. I mean, that's a good size.
Yeah.
And then they also have like a whole host of T-shirts. Yeah, real interesting graphic style. A lot of black and white prints.
It seems to be very. They have a skateboarder in this video. All right. Well, my opinion has completely changed about Shredwiser.
I don't know.
As I'm sure most of you guys that remember my stance on buying Vans shoes for my daughter. Yeah, not happening. I'm over it.
Was it? I mean, I haven't seen the video.
Yeah, I mean, like I watched part of the trailer before we started. Who gave us a thumbs down, by the way? Screw you, bro. But I never really loved it. Like there was a video from a bunch of really Hessian type guys called Honey Baked that came out, I think in like 2011 or so. And the first time I watched it, I think I got like 5 minutes in. Like I think I got to the intro and I was like, nope, I'm not liking this. And but he was very like hard, fast rock and roll, like shitty SD footage and stuff like that. And like I was, I'm just really not feeling this. Still not feeling it.
Yeah.
Nope, still not. So it wasn't something that I really connected to.
Sure.
I had to force myself to watch it afterward. I think it was another one of those things I put on my phone and then watched when I was in the call center. And I was like, this is pretty good. The skating's not bad. I was like, the music sucks, but the video's not bad.
Yeah.
But and then whatever the Honey Baked kids turned into, which I think eventually turned into Dirtbox. I could be way off on that, but I mean that whole like, we're just gonna get fucked up and wear black skinny jeans and not wash them for 3 weeks and skate every day, and I was like, not my thing.
that is not my thing. I just jumped around the trailer a little bit. Again, I think this came out 6 months ago, so I'm not sure that it's super relevant anymore. But there's a lot of weird, like there's like the Shima getting destroying his ankles clip in there. There's just a random. It looks like Jan Welch just hanging out in the background. Like I'm intrigued. It's a very strange video. When I get some time, I'll watch it and just see what's up. I didn't see your skateboarder friend though. Mostly just rollerblading.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not against it, but I don't want to support it at the same time. Like it's not my industry, so I don't really care.
No, I hear you. I think anything you do to do blader stuff is good. but we need to be friends with people at the skate park,
For sure. And I'm not going to be an outright dick to somebody,
Sure.
Just because. But I mean, I'm also not going to, buy coffees for people at the skate park.
Sure.
So unless I go to Love, if I ever actually do go at FDR, if I ever actually do go to FDR, it's going to have to be first thing in the morning. Bring a box of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts or something, or a case of waters. Like, this is my peace offering. I didn't bring any wax. You're free to look in my bag if you want to. I just want to skate around. That's it.
Yeah.
I have a horrible attitude.
I don't know that there are. I don't know that there are any skate parks around this area that are like that. Like, at least I haven't gotten any beef. Like, I had this weird experience where, when was it? A couple weeks ago, I went to Marsh, which is one of the local skate parks, after it rained. And, there was just lots of puddles. There was so much water, like, you couldn't skate. And there was this BMXer at the bottom with, like, a broom. And I went over, and his buddy came up, and his buddy was hanging out with, rode over and, started sweeping as well. So they were both sweeping. And I wasn't going to skate there. I was just going to warm up in that area. I usually just skate the ledge up top. But I saw they had an extra broom. And I'm like, hey, do you guys need any help? And they looked at me. And then they just looked away. And I was already in my skates and all suited up, right? I'm like, oh, okay. So I got the extra broom, and I just started, going to work, and I was sweeping and just moving puddles and such. And they were talking about, whatever. And I remember getting to a point where we were like done with all the puddles, and all there was like damp cement, So it was going to dry, but there's not much else that you can do. And I said, you guys have a good session or whatever, and they still never talked to me. So I put the broom down and I skated away. But it was just weird. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion that, it's a shared resource and we should all just kind of get along. Like, it's not your private skate park, I know that there are skate parks out there that are like that. Infamous ones like Burnside or like FDR, I would assume, is what you say. Or there's places that you just don't rollerblade. You don't BMX either. Like, this is a skateboard park and that's it. And even then, I mean, you don't go if you're not, invited, that sort of thing. But yeah, it seems like, I don't know. It seems like we should be old enough to not have to worry about that anymore, but maybe some of us aren't quite as old as or as mature as they should be.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that just don't care for stuff that isn't what they're into.
Yeah,
I guess I'm kind of an example of that.
Yeah, and I mean, to each their own. Did you So I saw a link to this thing called Slicks Wheels. Have you heard about Slicks?
No, but I did click on it, and it just looks like it's like UHMW stuck on a lathe and anti-rocker wheels cut out of that.
There are a lot of these anti-rocker UHMW wheels. I mean, if you go to Roller Warehouse, there's like a handful of them, different companies that have them. I don't remember anything like that back in the days. I mean, maybe CDS made them, but...
Yep. They called them grindstones.
Grindstones, yeah. I don't think they ever had room for bearings, though. Like, they were just their own thing.
No, the CDS ones didn't. The next ones that I remember after that, Undercover made.
Really?
Or no, maybe Second Regime had the plastics. And then maybe Mechanism or something, or Knight made some.
Mm-hmm.
But
I know that there are those the weird. I don't even know where to look for them. Oak City might have them, but I know that there are those weird. Like the ones that come on the rollerblade or on the ground control frames. that are like not anti-rocker wheels, and they're not machined. They're like these molded things, like these barrels that are kind of like anti-rockers, but they're kind of not. Let's see if I can find them.
The grindstones from CDS.
No, like the weird little barrels that they make. Like ground control frames come with them. The featherlights come with them, where they're not.
Yeah, those.
Yeah, they're
the plastic ones.
Yeah, they're weird. They spin, but they don't quite spin. And then I guess what is it? Gray matter, is that what they're called? They make
gray
those
matter,
too.
moonshine. Who else? There's a British company that makes some, like Ajax or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
That might be that. I think this Slicks company, I think they're based in the UK as well. I might be wrong though. I think I learned about it from the UK blading group. Yeah, really interesting. I'm just fascinated by technology. Like, I think that it's interesting that people would come up with those. And it seems like an easy way for somebody to start a company, like get some UHMW and a lathe and cut out some wheels and there you go. I think it's kind of like the grind plates of, the days when everybody had a grind plate and there were grind plate companies, and now there's a lot of these weird anti-rocker-ish wheels and wheel companies. I mean, if it starts a brand, then, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And then especially with someone, chalking up some UHMW into a lathe bit or a lathe chalk and cutting it up.
Yeah.
I got no beef with that.
Yeah.
I remember with CDS, I had called the guy who ran CDS at one point, like as in the twilight of that. And like we kind of chit-chatted for a little while about it. And he said his favorite material to work with was the stuff that the burgundies were made out of. He said that it would, when it heated up to a certain temperature, it would smell amazing. I didn't really understand at the time. Like, I don't know if he did like the little slots for the axles, like in a mill, or if he did it all on a lathe or whatever. But like, no, because you couldn't. That's the wrong shape to do everything on a lathe. But just the idea that someone would go through all that and like it that much, I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But it was fun talking with that guy. His name was Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. I remember that. I remember his name. I don't think I ever met him.
No, I talked to him on the phone for a little while, but that was about it. I wonder if Al DeLega still has a way to contact him.
That would be a good interview.
With Al or Charlie? Or
with
both?
Charlie. With Charlie. I mean, I'm just fascinated. Like, why was he a skater? Like, how did he get involved? Like, how did he know materials so well back then?
I know he was into like rec skating and like Friday night skates type thing. Because for a while the CDS Detroit website turned into just like a meetup type thing, like every week or every other week or something like that. They would talk, or they would do like these big sessions and then take pictures and stuff and,
cool.
and do 15, 20 miles or whatever. But it turned into like being like a skate club.
Interesting.
Kind of thing. So, but like I really wish the blading was bigger, so that he could make more stuff, because he had some really cool ideas.
Yeah.
To really highlight the pitfalls of the current designs and ways to work around them and to improve them.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first guy to make that heel, the heel thing to make a flat sole. I mean, that was definitely a CDS first. I'm not sure that he made the first grind plate. I know that, Sennett was doing grind plates, maybe not out of plastic, but I mean, I'm sure he was right around the same time as, Jess and Ted started 50/50. I mean, it was the Wild West back then, and skates were so bad for what we wanted to do. Like you had to come up with something that would help you.
Yeah, you had to work with what you had.
Yeah. Super interesting.
But I have the thought every now and then, like, where would blading be if aggressive didn't start until 2005, and we had 2005, injection technologies and plastic compounds available to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how crazy would that would skating technology get to where it is now that much faster, or would it just flop? Like, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bigger question, I think. Like, was the technology holding blading back at the time, or was it just not knowing what? You know what I mean? Like, was it not knowing what skating needed, or was it the fact that we couldn't produce what we needed? Like, if you think about the Fatty, the Fatty was way ahead of its time.
Oh, absolutely.
If that skate were, I don't know, like, there were a lot of people skating that skate, and that skate helped create new tricks and new style and, balanced backslides and things like that. Like, definitely Randy Spicer was doing him in Rossi's Majestic 12s, I guess, back then. But, like, Fatties were its own thing. Like, I wonder if, I don't know. I wonder if there was any technology that we have now that could be injected back then, like you were saying. Like, would it make any difference? Or was it that we just didn't know what we needed in skating,
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say that at the time it was one of those ignorance is bliss type things, because there may have been similar injection compounds that were available. There may have been abilities, for that. But Heiser might be a great person to ask about that kind of stuff, because he was in that, with K2 way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe he had even crazier ideas that they were just limited to, like, no, we're not going to spend that much money on textiles for that stupid patch. Tom,
sure.
Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the performance, I mean, did you ever skate Style Point Bobs or King 55s?
Very little.
Yeah,
but
me
I
either.
had skated them, yeah.
I mean, I think I put them on, but very, very little. I mean, I think in a like a summary, like, they were a K2 Fatty base, right? But then the upper was
Basically,
different. Like, it was either a high top or, different tongue or different cuff or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question. If I think that, you can highlight the progression of skate technology, with the K2 Fatty, with the Solomon, there are groundbreaking skates. I don't know that the materials make that much of a difference. I think it was just ability of skaters and the the way that the sport was at the time. Like if you had to scrap everything now and start fresh with a brand new mold, like, if there was plenty of money, like, I guess the Aeon is what you would come up with. Like a mix of shock absorption, a perfect frame for skating flat 60. Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. Now, I also would say that your material makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because, did you skate Argon?
No, I didn't.
So, like, that whole boot was barely harder than the backslide from Fatties.
Yeah.
So it was very slow. It stuck on everything that wasn't like a highly polished friggin' ledge.
Right.
So, it's a slippery slope when you're talking about injection plastics, because there's some stuff, if it comes out too soft, it's completely unusable. Mm-hmm. If it's too hard, it ends up being too brittle. So I would go so far as to say that that the plastics, the materials have a much higher, quote unquote percentage of influence than the design of something does, because you can have a great design, kind of like I was talking about how an engineering idea can be a great idea on paper, but then in actuality is just horrible.
Sure.
So you can have a great idea on paper, for the Fatty Pro 2.
Yep.
And then it ends up not working because the angle that you have your heel cup and where it meets the backslide plate is in the way of people doing a Royale because
Sure.
of the way that they do the trick.
Sure.
So,
or like a USD Legacy.
that was a very ambitious idea,
wasn't it? I mean,
yeah. I never even held them in my hands, but from the way that I've heard them described, I would think that if there was a couple things that had changed, if they changed the way that the cuffs were supported instead of having the aluminum bracket or whatever it was, I would go so far as to say it probably could have been a pretty good skate.
yeah.
Because having all that adjustable stuff, like adjusting your backslide front and back and in and out and everything like that, same thing with the soles, I think that would be a really cool idea.
Long has a pair at the shop. It might even be your size.
Unless he's gonna send that to me for free $99, or I'll pay for shipping. I don't see that happening. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to take stock from Long that I'm not going to pay for. So
No, I don't know that. I don't know that he would send them. They're just a silly old skate that he's gonna put on the wall. But yeah, I held them. They were interesting skates. I think. I mean, that was a different time. That was the beginning of the end. That might have been when skating started its downfall when the Legacy came out.
it's very possible.
I mean, it's right when I left. I don't remember it coming out. I remember when it was coming out, that it was going to come out, but that's it.
Yeah. So that was. I don't think there was even a second line for those. I think, Demetrius George got his pro, Richard got his pro, Carlos Pianowski got his, and they had a team version. I think that was it.
Yeah, so you're thinking maybe 4,000 skates ever, 5,000 skates ever. You know what I mean?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's so fascinating.
Yep. But I mean, it again. I think that was just like some engineering student was just like, "Oh, I can make a great skate for you."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, we'll give you some money, or we'll give you some skates, or whatever."
and I wonder if it was also skater input, where it was like, where do you want this? And then somebody says, oh, here. And then somebody says, oh, here. And then somebody says, what if we made it adjustable so that it was accommodating to you and to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. But I'm sure there's someone that's out there that still has a pair and still loves them.
If you do, I'd love to see them.
Yeah, I probably won't see them. All right, let's check our topic list. Let's see if there's anything. Is there anything else that's on here that you're...
I think we got everything, dude. I would have brought it up if I didn't. It was
Okay.
It was heavy in the front, I think. None of these videos, to me, like, I haven't seen a lot of them, and none of the videos are like super neat to talk about. You know what I mean? I wanted to get to the helmet clip just because I'm kind of on a helmet kick recently.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
The Sean Smith thing. I haven't watched the Daniel Henderson edit. It just hit yesterday, I think. I think we're good. We're probably at a little under 2 hours.
2:12. I got on mine.
Yeah, and my
but yeah, this
my UPS isn't going anywhere, so.
Yeah, this Andrew Broom one we definitely got to talk about.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it. I think
Did you get it?
I think I bought it. I don't know. Maybe maybe I did. I'll have to find out.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
That looks good. I've seen some teaser clips that Ant's been posting, excuse me.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty ridiculous. That guy's talented too.
I'll make sure that I watch it next time.
For sure. All right. Well, let's call it.
Yeah, I think we're good. hey, on the live stream, thanks for watching. I know there was a bit of a technical difficulty with the stupid UPS again, but yeah, just scrolling through the comments. We do read the comments. I try not to watch them when they're going because I get distracted, and I want to talk, and I don't want to talk while I do this. But it is fun doing it in front of everybody. The podcast. So I go through and I edit the podcast, so the rambling and the indecisiveness we usually do on the live stream gets tightened up a little bit, and then I clean things up so that it's nice and easy to listen to, and that'll hit on Monday morning. So if you aren't already listening to the podcast, backtoblading.com/podcast, and you'll be able to listen to it. Yeah, good stuff.
For sure. Yeah, and Jamie Goodwin, if you're still on the live stream, hit me up. Find me on Facebook, send me a message. Let's talk about that, because I have some opinions that I don't want to type on this stupid surface.
No worries. Cool. All right, guys.
And I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm saying that like let's talk about it.
Cool.
So, all right. I'll see you again, Law.
All right, man. Have a good one.
We'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
All right, later.
All right, bye.